This is what you might have missed on BCSN's Sports Nightly.
Last couple of years, you've made the playoffs. It's become the norm around here, but one game and done had to rub you and this program the wrong way. This year, you go 8-2. You're that close to a conference title, and you get a home playoff game. You're taking some steps in the right direction.
You know, we could have easily, after the loss against Central Catholic, our guys were down, devastating loss. But, you know, we rallied, we got our guys together, my staff worked tremendously hard to get our kids to rally, our leadership in the locker room. And then from there, our kids were hungrier than ever. And I think when you really look at what is going on here, our kids are not satisfied with the one and done. They're not satisfied with not winning a league title, you know, so they're pressing even harder, and there's that hunger about this senior class that they don't want to be done. They love hanging out with each other, and when you watch them practice and you watch them play, you start to see, you're seeing more and more of that leadership piece. You're starting to see more and more of that hunger coming out in these guys that they want to make a run here.
You mentioned the senior class. They're not just seniors, they're very experienced seniors, and it starts with the quarterback, Chase Bowman. He's gotten all the snaps this year, took just about all the snaps last year, took a majority of the snaps as a sophomore. How have you seen him grow, and how important is he having that experience as you head into the playoffs?
I just think his experience, you know, what he's done, you know, he's taken the experience, he's taken the highs and the lows, and he's turned them into, when you really look at it, he's turned all that kind of stuff into positives for himself. You know, he takes a look at what, you know, he's done well in the run game and in the pass game, but then he's up that, you know, and expected more out of himself. And then when you take a look at his low moments, you know, he's learned from those, and he's turning those lows, you know, and those negatives into positives, you know, and now he's playing with unbelievable confidence, you know, and our offense, you know, it goes through him.
One of his favorite targets, it seems, this year is Zach Smith. Week after week, he's jumping up, making some incredible catches. Last week, he had the one-arm grab against St. John's. If he's not doing that, he's picking up a botched snap and throwing a touchdown pass in a scramble situation. How important has he been as a guy on the offense at a skill position to be such a huge and valuable target?
You know, he's been unbelievable this year. You know, the things that he's doing inside the locker room and the way that he's leading by example. You know, he's doing the right things off the field. And I think that's the biggest thing now is people are seeing him doing the right things. So then, you know, what happens now is when he gets on the field, he's starting to do those right things, and more of our guys are following his leadership. You know, and then he is driven, you know, to be better than what he was the day before. You know, and his catches and all that stuff, none of that has gone to his head. You know, he's really humble, and he just continues to work. You know, his catches have been tremendous, but his blocking has been unbelievable in our run game, and that's really what sparked things for us.
Back in early August, I was talking to you on this very sideline, and you knew the skill positions you had a chance to be good, but you were worried about the offensive line. And say they weren't the biggest, kind of the beef-eater type guys, but you had a senior in Kobe Hotland who's been fantastic his whole career. And it seems like that line has stepped up to the challenge to open up a great running game for Bodeman, for Malik Moore, for Larry Patterson.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we had a rotation going early in the year. You know, we took Kyle Levinoff, who was a 2-year starter at center, moved him to tackle to try to help fill the need that we thought that we needed. And then eventually, you know, we ended up putting him back at center because we were, you know, a little weaker inside than what we wanted to be. And, you know, so we've had guys that have stepped up and taken on the role of being an offensive lineman. You know, we had a guy that had to switch positions, you know, and in this day and age, a lot of guys don't want to switch positions. They want to stay on the defensive side of the ball, the offensive side of the ball. But that attributes to what we have going on is we have guys that are being unselfish. You know, so Joe Krasniewski moves over in a tackle. It took him a little while to get used to what's going on, but once he started settling in, we started getting some consistency with our offensive line, and those guys are playing at a really high level right now.
Defensively, your team's playing well also. And you started out 4 of your first 5 games on the road. Did that kind of help the defensive unit kind of get their legs under them?
Yeah, I would just say, you know, we had to throw them in right now. You know, it was, you know, we're starting off the year with Walsh Jesuit, you know, a D2 powerhouse, and we had to throw those guys in right now. They had no time to try to, you know, like we did with Joe, is to bring him along. We had no time to bring those guys along. They had to go right now, and then as physical as our schedule was at the beginning, I mean, it was physical at the end too, but at the beginning, as physical it was, you know, our kids did a tremendous job defensively of playing physical, but also playing through those nicks and those dings, and they became better. I mean, obviously, you know, the way that they played against Detroit Catholic Central, you know, and to have the goal line stand at the end was another turning point for us. I mean, that could easily have gone against us, you know, and it could have changed the outcome of our season.
Before we look ahead to Saturday, just want to ask you real quick about that Central Catholic game. You go for 2 at the end for the win on the road. What was your thinking at that moment? And if you had to do it all over again, would you do the same thing?
Well, first of all, if I do it all over again, I'm going for the win. There's no doubt about it that, you know, it was the right call at the right time. And
why not?
Same thing
like
if the opportunity presents itself.
But they're not going to get there.
I'm not playing for overtime.
The Central defense stops them, and so after all that talk,
you know, I had the utmost
now you have
to in our offense. I had the utmost confidence. I mean, there was still, what, a minute and a half, 2 minutes left in the game. I had the utmost confidence in our defense that they were going to make the stop. There was no guarantees that we were going to win the game, you know, on that 2-point conversion. It wasn't like it was the last play, but it was definitely going to put more pressure on Central and then put our guys in the position to win the game, and that's what we were doing.
Saturday night, home playoff game against a name that people around here and across the state know in Canton-McKinley. What do you know about this Canton-McKinley team? And what are you going to have to do to get a victory?
They're athletic as all get out. You know, when you watch their guys, they fly around. You know, they're some of their skill guys are very elusive. Their quarterback is about 6'4", runs like a deer. You know, he's got a really good arm, really reminiscent kind of Gordon from Lima. You know, the way that he can throw the ball and the way that he runs the offense. You know, and defensively, they may not have, you know, when we played them in 2012, they were huge everywhere. You know, you don't really see that out of them this time around, but what you see is more athletic type kids defensively they're going to rely on the blitz and try to create chaos on you on the blitz. So we have to be sound inside and to try to get the run game established.
We talked about the senior class and how they've grown the last couple of years. How nice would it be for them in their final home game here at Whitmer Memorial Stadium to get a victory and keep moving on?
Oh, it would be tremendous. You know, our guys, you know, like I told you earlier, our guys are really hungry to get that. It's that monkey on our back right now is trying to get off that one and done deal. So I honestly believe that we get the job done on Saturday night. You know, look out, because we're going to be playing with unbelievable confidence. I mean, we're playing with that confidence now, but that confidence level is going to go right through the roof, and we're going to be able to make a run that we want to do.
Be sure to watch Sports Nightly weeknights at 10:30 on BCSN and follow us on Twitter at sports_nightly.